Hello, my name is John Champagne, and I will be presenting my lab for Operating Systems and Systems Fundamental today, September 24th. On my screen, you can see the three lab VMs created, with the one on the left being the domain controller, and the two on the right being domain joined. They can all ping each other. The next part of the lab was to set up a structure of Active Directory objects that follow best practices for RBAC. The lab didn't actually specify setting up any of the permissions, so I didn't bother to do that in an effort to save some time. The structure I built closely resembles what was in the RBAC exercise, except with only one location instead of two. I also ended up with a singular IT group instead of a couple of tiered ones, as I'm assuming, considering we're setting up a brand new Active Directory environment, it's a relatively small company. In the future, this particular IT group could be renamed to Senior IT, and some lesser privileged ones could easily be created. So I've also, my admin account there is a member of IT staff, which is a member of various admin groups. And my standard user here is just that. The third task was to set up DHCP. This was a bit of a tedious task since I didn't feel I was up to figuring out how to automate it with PowerShell, but it was still pretty simple. I created 4 scopes for the 4 specified networks, my student subnet, and the 3 specified networks in the exercise, 27, 28, 29, and set them up so that they're set up to hand out everything, and then they have some exclusions. So essentially, they're set for a full subnet, and then except for these couple of pools. So my student subnet is functioning, and my O3 VM is getting a DHCP release. Though the others kinda aren't doing anything at present because there's no NICs to bind to. So, but the default gateway is the good old .1 with my DHCP being my domain controller. The last task of this lab was to set up some basic DNS records and reverse lookup zones for the IP ranges in the previous DHCP task. The reverse lookup zones were the first thing I did, and except for things not actually really showing in the reverse lookup zone manager thingy, everything seems to be functioning in that regard. So I can reverse look up a IP address on my student subnet pretty easily there. So as for forward lookup zones, those were pretty simple, and they're essentially just aliasing to the actual host name of the specified server. So if the MX thing is a little bit tricky to look up, but let's first look up www. That works fine, and for the mail server we need to do set type equals MX, and then we need to go mail dot and that works just as expected. So, and figure. Might as well also double check that something like just this works. Yep, it all works exactly as we would expect it to.